Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda and this is Confidence Mindset with Amanda. So this is just a quick video on deciding whether you are powerful or not in your reality. And the reason why I want to make this is because all of our manifestations come to us on the basis of us believing in ourselves and also deciding how our life is going to unfold for us. So I'm going to use a metaphor of something that occurred to me over the weekend. I was traveling over the weekend and I was traveling on buses, and there was one particular bus coming to the end of my journey where I had to get a bus from this town in the evening. It was dark. I was at this bus stop by myself, and there is a tracker that you can get online that shows you where the bus is and where it's coming from. And so I was tracking this bus and it had said that it should have been there at say 7:45 in the evening time, and I was tracking the bus, and when I looked at the tracker it said that it had left the bus station and it was now at the airport, which is 30 to 40 minutes where I was waiting for it to arrive. And so I checked it at that time, which was 7:45. It still hadn't arrived and it still said that it was at the airport. And so I left it for another couple of minutes and I checked it again and it was still saying that it was at the airport. Now, the time was going backwards as it was saying that it was at the airport, which meant that it was being delayed. And it was at the end of the night and I was sitting there in the dark on my own, and I was kind of like kept checking it and I was getting a bit frustrated and thinking to myself, I really don't want to be sitting here till 8:30 or 9:25 waiting on this bus. And so when I was checking it, I just decided then, as I was checking it, you know what, I'm not going to look at it anymore because really all it's doing is perpetuating my frustration. And so I decided I'm just going to assume that this tracker is, or maybe something happened at the airport, that the bus had to be switched and there's no tracker and that's why it's stuck at the airport or something. And I just dropped it. Within a couple of minutes, the bus arrived. It came around the corner and it arrived. But look, I mean, people will say that, obviously that the bus is coming anyway, but so is your manifestation. And your manifestation is always there, and really it's about getting into that decision. Just say to yourself, you know what, I'm not going to keep looking at the 3D. I'm just going to decide that this is how it is. And the more that I continue to step into that decision, the more that I continue to step into my power and my confidence, the quicker it's going to come into my reality, because we're always instantly manifesting. And I'm using this metaphor of the bus because it is like the bus was on its way anyway, and so whether it was going to be late or not, it was still on its way. And it's the same with your manifestation. But I kept looking at the 3D. So this is what we're doing when we're looking at the 3D for validation. So I kept looking at that bus tracker online, trying to see where it was, obviously because I didn't want to be waiting there for so long. But the moment I stopped and said to myself, you know what, I'm just going to make the assumption that the tracker's not working or there's something going on, that the bus had to change and it doesn't have a tracker and it's going to be here soon. So the moment I did that, I stopped looking at the 3D, and 2 minutes later, the bus comes around the corner. And yes, the bus obviously will be coming anyway, but this is the same thing for your manifestation. So it's the moment that you decide, you look at your 3D and you say to yourself, you know what, I'm not going to continue looking at the 3D for this validation. I'm just going to decide that this is how it is going to be. And I'm going to step into my confidence and my knowing and my belief within myself, because the lag time when it comes to manifestation is really just because we are focusing on old thoughts, and your manifestation is always unfolding. Like there's always movement, and it's just about getting into that moment, that decision where you just say, that's it. It's like, did you ever hear that saying about a watched kettle never boils? And I know that it does boil eventually, but the more you look at something, it seems like it's the longer that it takes. And so this is what we have to stop doing when we're looking at our 3D. Just enjoy your life in the moment, build the belief and confidence within yourself, and decide how everything is going to go for you. Because the more you decide, you're giving out that clarity, and you are building that clarity within you, your universe, which is all within you. Everything is all within you. So if you can desire something, you can have it, because you wouldn't get that whole desire within you if it wasn't floating about somewhere in that quantum field. It's just the way that it is. So if you have a desire, you can have it. And the reason why then we fall into disbelief most of the time is because we're looking for validation in the 3D. It was like me looking at the tracker for the bus. I kept looking at it because I didn't want to be sitting there all evening by myself and it was a dark evening and at a bus stop and that, and so I just wanted to get home because I had been traveling through the day, and so I kept looking at it. But the more I did that, the more I realized I was just frustrating myself. And so in that moment, I just said, I'm just going to decide that this is the way that it is and drop it. And I was actually just going to go on and watch something on my phone just to take my mind off it. So I didn't even, there's another example. I didn't even believe that the bus was going to come that quick because I was actually just assuming that because it was frustrating me so much. I decided to assume that it was that was going to come at any moment, just to make myself feel better, and assume that the tracker wasn't working or something like that, just to make myself feel better in that moment. And I dropped it, and I was going to go on and look at something on my phone, but then it appeared. But that's an example of you not even having to believe in what it is that you were affirming for. All you have to do is decide and build the belief and confidence within yourself, because your manifestation is always coming. You can look at it as being on the bus, it's always coming. But it's the moment that you just decide to yourself that this is the way that it is. And it isn't so much about dropping it, but if you can just distract yourself a little bit from the whole focus on it, because really the whole focus should be on you. You should be building your confidence and self-belief within yourself, because any time lags or anything like that, or anytime we look to the 3D for validation, it's because we're just disconnecting from the belief within ourselves. We're disconnecting from the belief within our power within ourselves, and we are not allowing for things to just unfold. And so in these moments, just pick yourself up and just decide that this is the way that it's going to be. I'm just going to assume that as I continue to do my affirmations, that this is the way that it's going to end up for me, and I'm going to continue on my day doing things that make me feel good about myself, doing things that build the belief and power within myself, cultivating the whole belief within myself of how amazing I am and how successful I am and important I am, and all these type of things that you want to be doing throughout your day to build the confidence and belief within yourself, because nothing is separate. Everything is within you. Your whole universe is within you, and everything unfolds for you because it's reflecting back to you all of the beliefs and everything that you are building within yourself. And so I just wanted to make a quick video on that. And like, comment and subscribe if you want to be in with a chance for free coaching with me as I reach 1,000 subscribers. Thank you.